Alright, so this is the Mechlands M75, and the first thing you need to know is that this is the most affordable Hall effect magnetic switch keyboard I've tested so far. You can get it for as low as 3,700 pesos or around 65 US dollars, which is kind of crazy considering how much these kinds of keyboards usually cost. Now, on paper, it might look like just another compact gaming keyboard. But after using it for a while, I realized it's doing a few things differently. And depending on who you are, that could either make this the perfect entry point into magnetic keyboards, or a keyboard you'll probably want to skip. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I'm Renzo and I feature interesting or affordable tech gadgets on this channel, so do subscribe if you want to see more. Before we dive into performance and all the features, here are some basics. The M75 is only available in black color. You don't get multiple switch options here either. It comes with just one, the Ultimo magnetic switch. These are linear switches, so you won't get that tactile bump like you would get from brown or tactile switches, but they're on the louder side and do provide enough feedback to not feel completely flat. Think of it like a hybrid between a gaming switch and a typing switch. So if you're looking for something that balances both worlds, this could be a good two-in-one choice. Inside the box, you'll get the keyboard itself, a USB-C cable, the manual, and something I actually appreciated, an extra keycap in case you want to swap out the knob for a more standard key. And no puller is needed here. The knob just pops right off and you can replace it instantly. At first glance, the design is very gamer focused. The outer shell is made of plastic, but you'll notice that it has screws exposed around the frame. That does add to the disassembly process, but it also gives off that rugged, modding-friendly aesthetic. Underneath though, the plate is metal, which probably contributes to why these linear switches sound more audible than you would expect from a magnetic switch. This is an 80% keyboard layout, meaning you don't get a numpad, but you do keep your function row. You also get 3 LED indicators up top and of course, that swappable knob. On the back, you'll find the power switch and a Mac Windows toggle, so no matter what system you're on, this will work for you. Now let's talk switches. Like I mentioned earlier, these are Ultimo magnetic linear switches. Being linear, they don't have that click or bump. It's a smooth press all the way down. But because they're on the louder side, they don't feel too mushy. They provide just enough feedback to be satisfying without being tiring. It's not the perfect typing keyboard though. These switches do require a heavier actuation force compared to some of the lighter options out there. That means if you're typing long essays or coding all day, your fingers might feel it over time. But on the flip side, for gaming, that heavier actuation actually works in its favor. So why go for a magnetic keyboard like this in the first place? It all comes down to speed and precision. And the M75 is no slouch here. You're looking at an 8000 Hz spotting rate, 0.128 millisecond latency, and 0.01mm precision. That's insanely fast and accurate. Realistically, most people are not going to notice a huge difference unless you're into competitive gaming. But the numbers are impressive regardless. And here's the thing. If you're still losing your games with this kind of speed, I'm sorry to say, it's probably a skill issue. Now, I'm not a competitive gamer myself. I play casually and I spend most of my time typing, so I honestly don't notice much difference in the raw speed. But if you're on the opposite end, if you're that competitive player who lives for every millisecond, then you'll love what this has to offer. The M75 also has some advanced gaming features, and I'll break them down simply. DKS or dynamic keystroke. This allows a single key to perform multiple actions depending on how deep you press it. Imagine pressing halfway to walk in a game and all the way down to run, all with the same key. Toggle key or TGL. This lets you turn a key into an on-off switch instead of just a single press. Super useful for skills or commands you don't want to keep holding down. Mod tap or MT. A key can act like a regular key when tapped, but do something else when held. SOCD or simultaneous opposing cardinal directions. This one is huge for fighting game players. It basically makes sure the keyboard handles opposite directions, like pressing left and right at the same time, cleanly and consistently. These are advanced features that competitive gamers might really appreciate. For casuals like me, they're more like nice bonuses. One big thing you need to know. This is a wired-only keyboard. There's no Bluetooth, no wireless dongle, nothing. And that's actually one of the reasons why this is more affordable than other Hall effect keyboards. For some people, that's a deal breaker. If you're used to moving your keyboard around or you just hate cables, this might not be for you. But for dedicated gamers, wired usually isn't a problem. In fact, it's sometimes preferred because wired gives you the lowest latency possible. And with this being marketed as a performance-focused keyboard, it makes sense that Mechlands went with wired only to cut costs while keeping speed intact. Now let's get into the software. The M75 uses its own program that works both on Mac and Windows, and I actually think it's better than average. You get the usual, up to 4 layers to customize, macros, and key mapping. Pretty standard stuff. But what stood out to me is that you can actually share your settings with other users if you register an account. That's not something you see very often, and it's pretty useful if you want to try out other people's setups or share your own. On top of that, the software goes a little deeper. You can adjust the stroke and dead zone of each key, and you can also tweak things like DKS, multifunction editing, TGL, and snap key. Now, some of these features are advanced enough that they're banned in competitive play, but for casual or hardcore sweaty gamers, they're fun tools to play around with. For the rest of us, they're just extra customization options we probably won't touch. So let's break it down. Why should you consider the Mechlands M75? If you want one of the most affordable Hall effect magnetic keyboards without cutting corners on performance. If you're a competitive gamer who values speed, precision, and those advanced gaming features. If you don't mind a wired-only keyboard and you actually prefer the lowest latency possible. If you like a hybrid switch experience, something smooth enough for gaming but still loud and satisfying enough for typing. And why you might want to skip it? If you're primarily a typist, the heavy actuation force might be tiring. If you like slim, modern keyboards, because this is not it. If you value premium design materials, keep in mind that while the plate is metal, the outer body is plastic. And if you want wireless connectivity, this one is wired only, no exceptions. Overall, I think the Mechlands M75 is a really interesting attempt at making Hall effect magnetic keyboards more accessible. It doesn't have everything, you lose wireless, and the typing experience might not be ideal for typists. But for gamers who care about speed, responsiveness, and advanced features, this is one of the most affordable ways to get into magnetic switches without breaking the bank. So if you're that type of user, this could absolutely be worth it. If you're not, there are better typing-focused or wireless options out there. Either way, the M75 shows that Hall effect keyboards don't always have to cost a premium, and that's something I definitely appreciate. That's it for this one. Drop a sub or like if you feel like supporting the channel, and as always, until the next one, stay safe.